Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. All right, part 2 of my Saudi debrief. It's very likely that there'll be a part 3 and 4 because there's still so much to discuss from my 5-6 days in Saudi Arabia. Not all good, some bad from a boxing standpoint. We'll get to that on a separate video. The main topic of discussion for this video is what next for Francis Ngannou, who is hot property right now. He's a free agent and he is hot property. Look, I think it's very likely he stays in boxing. There are a couple of fights he can have in MMA, but I think all the money for him right now is in the squared circle. We'll talk about the options for him and what I think is the #1 option in a bit. Did you guys see my interview with Dimitri Bivol, my best friend in boxing? I asked him when is he going to fight again, and he said that he wants to fight by the end of the year, which surprised me a little bit, just because we haven't heard any rumors of him coming back this year. If he does fight by the end of the year, then again, he's likely to fight on this December 23rd card we keep hearing about, whether that's AJ ? Or Conor Benn versus Eubank. If any of those fights happen, I think it's very likely now that Dimitri Bivol fights on the undercard. I don't think it's going to be a top opponent, but I think he will fight. And I think, look, ultimately, as much as I want him to fight the best, I want him to fight first and foremost. So that's good. I also asked him about Terence Crawford, and I said, did you watch the Crawford-Spence fight? What'd you make of it? And he said, Crawford is great. And then he went on to kind of add to that and say, Crawford should be in the book on how to learn boxing, which is massive, massive praise. I mean, Dimitri Bivol is, what is he, top 6, top 7 pound for pound? To heap that kind of praise on, you know, a guy that you're chasing for that pound for pound status, I think is incredible. So it's always good to hear good boxers praising good boxers. I like that. And he said, yeah, Crawford is most certainly pound for pound #1. All right, quickly, before we talk Ngannou. Oh, by the way, Gymshark, I just came home to a box from Gymshark and they sent me this Ngannou t-shirt. Can you guys see that? Pretty cool, right? They sent me that and a couple of Ngannou hoodies, which is very nice. It's still kind of weird getting stuff sent for free. I still find that quite strange, but I'm taking it. Let's quickly run through the undercard fights, because I feel like because of what's happened in the main event, no one's talking about some of those great performances on the undercard. Like some amazing performances, like Martin Bakoli's performance against Carlos Takam, I thought was really good, like really good, especially considering he came in 300 pounds. I mean, I was like, he's going to look shit, and I think this is a good opportunity for Carlos Takam. And yes, his feet were very slow, but my God, he's a problem. He's clearly got underrated power, and it doesn't even look like he throws his shots correctly, but you rarely see Carlos Takam hurt like that early. Like, rarely see it. I mean, Joe Joyce, I mean, he landed a few on Joe before eventually, when Joe was the juggernaut still, Joe just sort of ran through him. I think Povetkin knocked him out as well, but I've never seen Carlos Takam hurt that early. So that's a big win for Bakoli. That's a statement win. Joseph Parker is good. He looks good, didn't he? I thought the Simon Keane fight could have been a bit of a banana skin, but Joseph made that look easy. He's now put himself into the position again to have big fights, maybe Bakoli. Fabio Wardley, how good was that? And I know for a fact, and Fabio won't say it, but I know for a fact Fabio had big problems in the lead up to that fight. I'm not going to say what those problems are, but there were problems. And for him to still do that against David Adeleye, a fight that a lot of people said was 50-50, geez. And maybe Fraser Clark next. I think I saw something today about Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker. I mean, Joseph Parker wouldn't want that fight because it does mean a step backwards. But for Fabio Wardley, that's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Moses Atama looked really good as well. Wants to become the youngest heavyweight champion of the world. He's got to get a move on. He's got to get a move on. And who else? Arslan Makhmudov. Jesus Christ, that is the most intimidating looking fighter since Dolph Lundgren. Isn't it? It is. Like, how scary does he look? I mean, for those of you who don't know who Dolph Lundgren is, you should. Ivan Drago. He looks so intimidating to this Makhmudov. I don't know who is going to fight him. I mean, they're going to have a problem matchmaking him, and they kind of need to get a move on because he's 34 years of age. All right, anyway, that wasn't what you came to this channel for. You came to hear and me talk about what next for Francis Ngannou. First and foremost, wow, still, right? Wow, good boxer. I mean, good boxer, like surprisingly good For someone that hasn't boxed before professionally, and as you guys know, no amateur fights, I mean, to do that against Tyson Fury, I mean, take some doing. That shouldn't be underestimated. As much as we might say Tyson Fury was off color and maybe he underestimated Francis Ngannou, all those things could be true. But still, let's appreciate what we saw from Francis Ngannou. I mean, he looked good. And, you know, there was a couple of times, I don't know if you saw it, where he switched southpaw. I was like, okay, dude. I mean, what are you doing? But okay, I like it. But look, he's going to stay in boxing because the money is too big in boxing. Yes, I know he's saying a lot of, you know, boxing can be corrupt. I think he's tweeting a lot of things right now, but the money's too good. Like, he got paid over $10 million. He's never, ever getting that in MMA, even if he fights John Jones. And that's one of the fights we're going to discuss. He's never getting that kind of money. And right now, because he is a free agent, I mean, whatever number could come on that next fight, that check can be big. So whatever fight he takes next, that check will be big because everyone's going to want to sign him. Frank Warren's going to want to have discussions, right? That's fact. Eddie's definitely going to want to have discussions. And he can command whatever he can command now because all of a sudden, dare I say it, Francis Ngannou could be a pay-per-view attraction. Could be, right? He could be because he's the guy that some of you think beat Tyson Fury. So, look, options on the table. What are they? I mean, I think the first one is the rematch. That's the first option. The first option should be the rematch. And if I'm Tyson Fury, that's what I want. I know, look, I know there's the undisputed belt. I get all that. Trust me, I get it all. But there'll be something. Tyson Fury will wake up today thinking, I want to fucking have a go again. I want to have a go again. I want to right that wrong because it wasn't wrong. I want to right that wrong. I want to fight him again. And I don't know what the first fight done in terms of pay-per-view buys. The rematch will be bigger. The rematch will be bigger. So I think that should almost be the first option. Francis Ngannou should chase it as well. Will he get it? No, because there's an undisputed fight coming up. But if I'm Francis Ngannou, I put pressure on to have that fight again. I literally do what George Groves did to Carl Froch. I remember when George Groves literally just didn't stop and then eventually got granted the rematch. I'll do that. I'll ask and ask and ask, make videos, appear on so many podcasts and just call Fury out. But it's very unlikely. The second one, Chaos in Lagos. Chaos in Lagos, Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. Enormous fight now. Am I lying? That fight's enormous. Like, that fight, it's crazy to think that fight, which was not even in discussions 2 days ago, could be as big, if not bigger, than AJ versus Wilder. Am I crazy? Tell me if I'm crazy. I don't know if I am. Am I crazy? I don't know. That's how, like, Francis Ngannou's catapulted his career to like that. This is the guy that Dana White laughed at and said, you know, you're leaving the UFC, you're not going to get money. Now, whatever fight he takes next, Francis Ngannou is getting 8 figures. Crazy. So that's another option. Another option is Francis Ngannou versus Deontay Wilder. Now, of all the options, that's the one I want to see. Eh? Don't you? That's the fucking... that's the fight I want to see. More than any fight right now in heavyweight boxing. I know it's crazy, but I like a bit of carnage. Like, I know how Usyk and Fury is going to play out. I kind of can see this fight, Ngannou versus Wilder. I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue. I'm telling you now. I ain't got a clue. Because something tells me Ngannou might be able to take that punch. I know you guys are, what, at 8? Mate, Fury elbowed him clean. That motherfucker didn't blink. Didn't blink. So yeah, that's another option. So he's got options. Fury rematch, AJ Chaos in Lagos, Wilder fight. And then you can almost go down other ones, which won't make as much money, but a Zhili Zhang fight? A Joe Joyce fight? There's options out there. All of a sudden, Francis Ngannou is a draw. And that's what his story is even more incredible. Honestly, it's even more incredible. Like, this wasn't supposed to happen. He was basically supposed to get beaten up by Fury and then run back to MMA and fight someone and take less money. But, you know, well done, Ngannou. You gave it a go. Not really your thing, but well done. Now, don't tell me all those fights I've just mentioned don't make money. Big money. Interest. We're all now interested in the Ngannou thing. Who was I speaking to after? I was speaking to... what's his name again? Joseph Parker's manager. Is it John Higgins or David Higgins? You know what I'm talking about. And I asked him, I said, do you think Ngannou is a top 15 heavyweight? And he simply said he don't think there are 15 heavyweights that beat him. So now he's a big draw. He's a big draw. And good luck to him, man. I really, really love this story. But if I'm him and if I'm Tyson Fury, I want to go again. I want to go again. Which is crazy, right? But look, Fury's not going to do it because Fury's got Usyk. Not because Fury's scared, because Fury's got the Usyk check in front of him, so I don't blame him. But look, who would you like to see Francis Ngannou fight next? Of all those options for me, Wilder would be first, Fury would be second, AJ would be third. But all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new player in the heavyweight division, and I think he's here to stay for at least the next couple of years. Wow. Boxing. Peace.